On January the 30th, 2018, I made a video called 10 redstone components I would love to see in Minecraft, and it essentially does what it says on the tin. It runs through some redstone components that I personally think would be cool additions to Minecraft Redstone. Now I thought when that video was uploaded, it would end there, but SuperCat765 actually went away and created a redstone modification which adds a lot of the things that I spoke about in the video. I mean, how cool is this? We've got block rotators, we've got sticky power pistons, we've got entity detectors, pulse extending repeaters, we've got wireless redstone, and of course, the famous bluestone. So the first thing that I mentioned in the video was the rotator block, and I am interested to see how this thing works. Now I haven't done any playing with any of the redstone components in this, and I'm sure there are going to be bugs. But okay, that doesn't work. that doesn't work how I was expecting. Alright, okay, so you have to power it through a block, but then that spins our piston round. I see, we've never had this feature before in Minecraft, so my mind doesn't work in a way that allows me to fit this in a redstone contraption just yet. Just give me a second. I wonder, does it work with dispensers? Ooh. Now that's very nice. Mainly because you can create things like this, which are always going to be good fun to use. Look at that thing. It also works with repeaters, but there's an interesting quirk, which is the fact that the repeater gives off a pulse as it gets rotated. I still think we can find a use for this though. I really want to see if we can make a two-way redstone line that runs through a repeater that rotates. I think we're going to have to use an RS Latch for this one. Right, so this is stage one. Okay, so we have this repeater right here, which will only give an output if we have the input coming on from that side. So you can see we've got no output there, but then we have an output on this side, and that is due to the signal strength. There's nothing in the mod happening just yet. Now we need to create an RS Latch, which is going to decide when the repeater needs to be flipped, because we need to know which direction the redstone signal is coming in from. Now, I'm just going to warn you, this is not going to be smaller than just running two redstone lines, okay? But I really want to make a two-way repeater line, and I think this is the right way of going about it. So, if we do this... yeah, then we just connect this up. Is this actually... right, okay. The likelihood of this working first time is nil. It is absolutely zero. Zilch. Not going to happen. But I'm interested. So if we do that... it's not far off. I actually think we went the wrong way. Yes! Oh, my, that's actually worked. So look, now we are sending it this way down the line. So then if we hit this button, so that then flips it around, and then we are sending it down this way. Now, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that we can do about the timings, unless we were to add repeaters set to 4 ticks in both directions here. Maybe that... no, that's not going to do anything because we need the redstone to actually run up to this section. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do about that, unfortunately. We can make it ever so slightly better by adding 4 ticks to the repeater. That seems to make things just a tiny bit smoother, but still, not perfect. However, it does function. One thing that I do think is going to be interesting, though, is a redstone crossroads. Now, this is something that you'd never be able to do without the rotatability function. Is there any particular... what? Now, I'm curious as to what is causing that one to spin. Ah! I know what it is this one down at the bottom here getting powered. Okay, that's something to be wary of. So the only way that we can stop that thing from being powered is by using slabs and then redirecting the redstone signals so they don't go directly pointing at the object. They have to be redirected using levers, which means that, just like the previous one, this thing is massive for what it does. But it is pretty cool. If we hit this button, you can see that we power that redstone lamp. The button is functioning. And then if we hit this button over here, we power that redstone lamp. So we are essentially redirecting our redstone current, and we now have a working Crossroads. It's huge, absolutely massive, but it works. Okay, let's move on to the next redstone component, which is the extender piston. So this little fella right here is going to extend out our redstone pulse. Ooh, now that is nice. I want one of these really badly. Can you imagine how nice it would be to have something like this? Oh, that's crazy. I don't know if this has made the triple piston extender any easier, but it does seem to work with these new pistons. So look at this repeater layout. It's really strange, and it seems odd to someone like me who's worked with regular repeaters for ages. But you can see that 2-tick repeater there is actually causing that piston to stay extended for ages. This is giving us that second block retraction, and then we're kind of mixing it in with regular repeaters and regular redstone circuits to actually give us a really nice and simple triple piston extender circuit. I mean, it's not the smallest that ever existed, but that's not a bad start. Where things get really interesting is situations like this. So in the center there, we have got our dark repeater, our pulse extending repeater. Here we've got a repeater set to 4 ticks, which is the equivalent pulse length of this repeater right here, because this extends out the pulse length by 4 times the ticks shown on here. And then over there, we have got a repeater with the equivalent delay. So this has got a 1-tick delay, but with a 4-tick pulse length. That's got a 1-tick delay with a 1-tick pulse length. This has got a 4-tick delay with a 4-tick pulse length. Hopefully that will make sense. And you can see how all of them react differently. So that one kind of breaks. This one in the middle works perfectly on both edges, and the one on the left works perfectly on both edges. It just happens later. That's science. That's science for you. Anyway, moving on from that genuinely useful redstone component, I thought it'd be cool to check out the entity detector, but I can't get it to work at this point in time. So you might have to let me know down in the comment section on how to use this thing, because yeah, I just can't make it function. The redstone capacitor, on the other hand, I can actually get to work, and it seems pretty interesting. Now, I wonder, I don't think, just by testing this, yeah, it doesn't power upwards, which is a bit of a shame, because it would be so cool to be able to move this thing upwards. I mean, can you imagine how cool that would be? You could then power the base of a piston. So let's do a quick tester. Number 1, can this be powered via a block? So this repeater is powering the block, which should be powering our capacitor. And number 2, can the capacitor be pushed upwards? Looks like it can be, and it can power in all 4 directions. So that means that, you know, it has an interesting property that makes it different from the observer. I do wish it powered upwards as well. That would be absolutely amazing, because then you could use it in like quad piston extenders and things like that. But still, that's interesting. That makes it an interesting component. Now, one thing that I am wondering is, does it power downwards? Let's see, if we update this piston, no it doesn't. So we can't even use it to push down on a piston or anything like that. That's a shame. But fear not, because we have got wireless redstone. Now I wonder, what is the range on one of these things? So if we were to place one all the way over here, would that be within range? No, it's not. By the look of things, it's within 15 blocks. That makes it super interesting. I like that. Now, the reason I find the concept of this super interesting is because you can have more than one receiver hooked up to each of these levers right here. So say, for example, we had this lever here, and I'm actually going to move this over a little bit. But say, for example, we had this lever over here. You could have wireless receivers running into a bunch of different redstone circuits that all do different things. So I'm in the process of building a 4x4 vault door, but you can see what I'm talking about here. We've got the lever, and that instantly connects up to all of these receivers right here. So we don't actually need redstone lines. We can just have receivers next to the things that we want to power, which makes things incredibly quick. And also really elegant. I mean, if we take a look at this thing, you can see we flick the lever, that opens up, closes, and if we take a look at the redstone, it's just, well, look at that. I mean, there's barely anything going on. We've got a few wireless receivers dotted around, we've got the double piston extender circuits, and that is it. Now, I have to say, this has been really eye-opening for me, because this is the first time that I've been able to actually play with the redstone components that I've proposed, And it's made me aware of a bunch of things. It's made me very aware of how difficult it must be to be a Minecraft developer, because I thought that the components I came up with were very in keeping with the redstone, I guess, ethos that we have currently in Minecraft. And they aren't. They really aren't. I mean, this wireless sender and receiver, nah. I personally wouldn't like if that was in Minecraft. It just seems overpowered and un-redstoney, really. I really like these repeaters. I think the repeaters are genuinely cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing those in Minecraft. The rotators, honestly, aren't that useful. The capacitors, I mean, I can't think of a use for them at this point in time. To be honest with you, it's made me aware of how difficult it is to develop new components for Minecraft. It's a real tricky balance. So I guess that is kind of like the bittersweet end for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.